It's 0630 out here on the Clinton River. Thought I'd take an early walk. It's fantastic out here in these woods in the morning. Not even sure where to begin with this one, but let's figure it out. Everybody talks about conservatives this, Democrats that, the left, the right, Republicans, this, that, and the other. It's all a bunch of garbage. It's nonsense. It's word salad. It's meant to divide us, keep us confused, fragment us. Meanwhile, a couple of very small groups take power, and that's what's going on now. Now, I mentioned the Chinese already. I know. There are people out there who think that's not possible, and there are people out there who think, oh yeah, absolutely, that's it, and there are people who think it's this, it's that. We're not dealing with stupid adversaries. They've managed to dismantle our entire culture. In the space of a couple of decades, they managed to dismantle our entire culture. These people are not morons. Based on what I've seen, and I spent a long time as a serious intelligence analyst, what we're looking at is the Chinese want hegemony, they want space, they want resources, but they know that Americans, at least right now, probably for the next foreseeable 30, 40 years, they're not going to accept a ruling face of a Chinaman. Americans won't accept that. That would be too much. So the Chinese have found willing traitors in our own Marxists and communists. You know them mostly as politicians. People like Schiff, Schumer, Pelosi, Nadler, the rest. Many of our state governors, Pritzker, Wolf, Whitmer. These people are willing traitors because what they're getting in return is wealth and security and power and a promise that the alligator won't eat them today. These are the worst sort of traitors. They're selling you out in every possible way. They're selling out your country, they're selling out your culture, they're selling out your race, they're selling out your community, they're selling out you personally. They'd happily sell you to a Chinese organ factory. Yes, those exist. The Chinese actually have basically industrial facilities where they harvest people for organs. So, the Chinese have taken most of Africa, they're working on South America, and they own just ridiculous amounts here in the United States through the China Entrepreneur Club. Now that looks like it's being backed by BlackRock, who appears to be buying up as much U.S. real estate as they can get. Why is BlackRock doing that? Well, there are two very plausible reasons, and they're not mutually exclusive. One, they know that our dollar is about to go into the shitter. Economic collapse, Venezuela, Weimar Germany, wheelbarrows full of money for a loaf of bread. And two, Biden has already said that he wants the U.S. government to own 30% of real estate by 2030. Well, one, that's completely against the Constitution. Utterly against the Constitution. I forget which clause off the top of my head, but I know it states the U.S. federal government may own no more land than Washington, D.C., and those ports and parcels of land necessary to maintain a military. How that translates to 30% of all United States real estate, well, that's beyond me. These people mean to rule us. They're very close right now. They already have us by the short hairs. Life today is nothing at all like I remember it even when I was 25. Most of the freedoms that I remember, even up to when I was 30, right before 9/11, walk in and out of an airport, no problem. Go anywhere you want, no problem. Nobody's IDing you for anything except for booze and cigarettes, which is weird. All our freedoms are just gone. Everybody wants identification. Everybody wants proof of who you are. Everybody wants proof that you're vaccinated. It's a culture of paranoia. And that's not American culture at all. I'm here to tell you. Those of you who are older who are watching this will remember what I'm talking about. We literally had no shackles at all of any kind. Came and went as we pleased. 3 o'clock in the morning, want to go out, eat, just do it. Police barely bothered anybody. You needed to be doing something for the police to bother you at all. Families were the norm. Family reunions, all that kind of stuff. This country's coming apart. We're being ruled by people that we haven't summoned the will to confront. And we're being fragmented. We're being deliberately pulled apart and pushed into groups. I was thinking about this on the way out here. Boomers and Coomers and Gen X and Gen this and Gen that. What the fuck are we doing? What is that crap? Every generation has its failures and its successes. When did this labeling thing start? I thought about it. I don't remember any labels put on us at all until my generation. Generation X. Somebody wrote a book about it. It was Borders bookstore. Saw it one day. I didn't think anything of it. Yes, people talked about the baby boom generation, but that wasn't to define the generation, it was to define a moment where America suddenly found itself with a higher birth rate than it had in a very long time. It didn't have to do with the generation itself. Now we're tripping over ourselves to define these generations. And yeah, there's some crappy ones in there. But it's individual people, or smaller groups of people. And a lot of it is the mindset that came out of the education system that forces us into little tiny fragmented groups and gives us just absurd expectations. Man, I'm really fucking rambling today. I think what it is I'm a little confused. What the fuck are we doing here? We all know this is going on. We all know our country is being invaded at the southern border. We all know it's the fault of the federal government. We all know our state and local governments are complicit. Yet we all continue to obey the law. We're being told to obey the law as the people telling us to obey the law break the law. It's unlawful to flood a border. It's unlawful to destroy an economy. It's unlawful for a United States president to deliberately, purposefully impede and hamstring the United States of America. It's unlawful for governors to detain citizens under pretense of quarantine. You don't quarantine the healthy. Never in the history of mankind has that ever been done. I couldn't find a single record of it anywhere. It's unlawful to put diseased felons in nursing homes full of vulnerable elderly. It's unlawful to willfully cause the deaths of thousands. It's unlawful to deliberately, with malice and intent, destroy thousands of businesses in the name of public safety. We didn't elect any of these people to make us safe. We elected them to make good policies and implement them. The last 16 months has seen more lawlessness on the part of United States politicians than I would argue at any time in history at all. It is not lawful for us to tolerate lawlessness. We have a duty to handle this. I want to show you the best dog in the world here. Hi, pupper. What you doing, buddy?